Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Christopher Dahl here on Friday afternoon. Hello. And hello everybody. As we've got a few people in the list here. We got Bob. Hello Bob. Happy Friday. And hey, Wes Chilton's here. Hello Wes. How are you doing? Welcome to the show. Hey, we've got this is the stripped down version of the live stream. I have one camera, that one, and one microphone attached to that camera. So it's going to sound a little different because that microphone picks up everything in the room. But hey, welcome here to Space Art by Christopher Dahl. Fridays here. We do this every Friday. I try to paint something. I try to paint a thing, and usually I don't know what it is, which is just like today. Hey, greetings. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. It's been, it's been a busy year. It's weird because I'm working on a lot of things, and I know that there's a lot of things that are still in progress. It's frustrating to see things not finished, so I'm trying to finish the things. So, anyhow, for those of you that are on my Patreon this Sunday, I will be revealing one of those things, and I'm very excited. The overall arching goal for 2026 in the studio here was to do a lot more artwork for one, finished pieces in particular. And I've been doing that. It's been actually working out pretty good. Hey, Rhonda's here. How you doing, Rhonda? Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Hey, we are out at lunch, already drinking beer. This is exactly, okay, so listen to chat. Wes has it right. It's Friday afternoon. Have the beer ready. And, baby back ribs for the smoker. Oh, that's very cool. That's awesome. I've only once cracked the barbecue, and that will be, I'm looking forward to more for the summer. That sounds amazing. But thank you for joining me in the studio. It's been cool. I'm a little out of sorts, a little unplugged this week. We've had a few setbacks. The cats have staged a breakout last night. They got into a bedroom upstairs. I saw the little list of blueprints that they had that showed how, that crudely drawn in cat format, where they were able to get into the room and break out of the window. So, your birthday was Wednesday. Well, oh my gosh. Happy birthday, Rhonda. I did not know. Yes, we should, I think happy birthday barbecue for Rhonda is in order. I will, in a future meetup, you have my word. I will either Shanghai Wes and bring him out here to do the barbecue, or I'll throw it. Hey, Mediocre's here. How you doing today? Greetings. Happy Friday. Sitting in the parking lot, eating your lunch. Oh, excellent. Oh my gosh. Most of the shops they don't revisit are closed for the holiday weekend. Oh no. That's right. Okay. I'm turning into the weird old hermit because I wasn't even sure. Honestly, I'd forgotten that it's Memorial Day weekend. Holy crap. So yeah, very cool. Although having a shop closed for that is a little unusual. Very strange. Anyway, so yeah, welcome aboard everybody. Listen, everyone, since I just a program note, let me know how the sound holds out and the picture, all that good stuff. I'm working on one microphone, a different one, and I have pulled things down after the debacle of last week. Yeah, I think that set me off for the week. I honestly, I was all ready to go. I was in the mood to paint. I was having a good time, and that stupid laptop. Now it's not the laptop's fault. It is the laptop owner's fault. Yeah, I am sorry for disappointing you all, very much so. That it bothers me to no end. So yes, and again, happy birthday, Rhonda. I love having you all here, and I just want to make a nice show. So what happened after the laptop? Yeah, so as it turned out, shocker, right? There's there's an accumulation of fuzz that might have a large percentage of cat hair stuck in the fans of the laptop. And laptop fans are very, very tiny, right? They have almost no space. So any amount of blockage is going to cause these things to overheat. And I got to tell you, in spite of how things look, this is a damn fine laptop, actually. No lie, I got a pretty powerful laptop for one. It's got a pretty decent video card for its size. It runs 2 separate monitors. It's a little, those Asus ZenBooks that has the small strip monitor. Hey, yeah, here you go. I can do this right here. That is the beast. Look, I even have it set up like a Star Trek console. I can just work right here. It's really great. Anyway, and because it is up on a stand, microphone, other unused microphone, because it's up on a stand here, there's actually really good airflow. So it was clearly blocked, and I very carefully unblocked it with my collection of specialty paintbrushes and model tools. I actually had everything necessary to get into the laptop. It just makes me nervous. I don't like cracking into laptops because they're, one false move and you're toast. And unfortunately, it's my only machine right now. So I'm in the near future. We have to expand. Anyway, so after I cleared out, basically, oh yeah, look, here it is right there. There's a piece of fuzz. Unreal. Yeah, it has been working fine, but I also recognize that I was really setting up a live stream shoot, 2 cameras, external microphone, stream deck. I had my Cintiq plugged in. That's a lot to manage for one machine. No matter how good your laptop is, the buses are still much more fragile than a dedicated workstation. So, we're gonna try. I decided that's it. Pulling things out. And it worked great. It worked great for the Patreon on Sunday. So we're just gonna. I'm just gonna point and steer all of you here in the room. Anyhow, thank you again for joining. That's a long thing. It's been a week. And thank you to all of you that ordered prints this week. We have the lovely cow encounters, which has proven to be very popular. I still have the originals being prepared to ship over on the Space Art by Christopher Dahl store. Which actually I should put that in here. Hold tight. Okay, I'm going to add these. It's probably trying to power the flux capacitor that did it. You aren't kidding. It was probably the flux capacitor, I'm certain. I keep adding things going, it'll work, right? Because I could just plug it in. And I have extra USB strips, right? Yeah, right. Here we go. Also, bam, there we are. So I have, that's a link to my Space Art by Christopher Dahl store. I have prints available of the cow encounters, which is really fun. Yay! Oh, I love the cow. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Yes, indeed. Oh my gosh, that's too fun. And for those of you who are so inclined, you are welcome to join me over on Patreon. This always helps out this helps us out a ton. With Patreon, you can jump in, and I'm trying to share as much really cool behind the scenes stuff as I can. And there's a lot of fun things going on, so there's there. And finally, our Discord. Come on out, come by. If you're new to the stream, check it on out. Oh, and I realized, oh my gosh, I don't have the chat exposed afterwards. So for those of you watching this on YouTube later, check the descriptions of the video. My apologies. I'm sitting here, bouncing links into chat for months on end, right? Not realizing that I didn't have the chat replay turned on any of my streams. So there we go. Yes, encounter. I can't believe we missed that. So Skylar, local artist, thank you for pointing that one out. When she said that, I was like, oh my God, you're totally right. Encounters. Yeah. So I'll probably have to do another encounters painting of some kind, I think. And it's a series, right? So I don't have to stop at one. I can do more kind of like it, if you will. Yes. Anyhow, awesome. Thank you all for hanging out. The animated emoji situation has me a little perplexed, but there are some other things I can expose, by the way, for YouTube. Subscribe. Those of you who are subscribing on YouTube, thank you so much. I am learning how to jam up and add some cool things in. So there's some benefit to subscribing here on YouTube. And obviously, for myself, hang on, let me just try to find this right here. For myself, I want to make sure I get some really cool flat, all of the appropriate and necessary star-flinging iconography. Cow encounters of the third kind. Oh, I love that one. And the pigs, yes. The barnyard. The barnyard is being visited by space aliens. It's very seems in theme. And of course, we just watched Mars Attacks this last week too, which actually carried it all home well. Les boo. All right, let me pull this on over. All right, so here we go. So here's how we're gonna work this. I'm just gonna be like, I have two paint. This is the one I started 2 weeks ago. I have the option of finishing this one, although I keep threatening to do that on a separate live stream, and I haven't. And then, of course, I have this one, which we started last week, and it is, I got paused midstream. I feel like I want to save these for another time, and let me just grab this out of the way here. They will be available soon, and instead, I think we're gonna go with a fresh new painting, and I'll just peek in here. How does that sound? Oh my gosh, yeah. It's weird to be having only the one camera. It's actually a little annoying. Hang on. Okay, so the drink this week is just straight water, which is working out pretty well for me. So we're gonna keep doing that. And yeah, I feel I had a second option in my brain. Well, okay, so I have a couple of themes that I brew up for these Friday live streams, and usually there's something that's inspired by something I saw in the previous week, or maybe an artistic trick I wanted to try. A lot of the paintings I've done actually this year, since they were in oils on these canvases, have been more or less explorations of that sort of theme and so forth. So yeah, I might sketch out a new scene, because I feel like if I called the last one Cow Encounters, we have to call this one Encounters. You have a chalkboard pig in my kitchen and you wrote moo on it. Awesome. Hey, I'm gonna see if I can pull my laptop closer so I can see it. Hang tight here for a second. I have to do it gently. There we go. See, so it's kind of like, yeah. So now I just have it right here, and I can see all the things that are going on. It's very, very important. I do wish I had my second camera. I could try to plug it in, but this works. I want to just proceed. So maybe next week I'll plug the second camera in and we'll go from there. All right. We're gonna go with my other idea for Cow Encounters, and we're gonna work this one out. Okay. So. Bingo! Since I'm still on the clock, to drink this week is root beer, light ice. Yeah, because nobody. Well, okay, so I don't know what you're. Forgive me, Meteor. I know you told me what you do, but I forget what your role is. Now, in my years at Microsoft and any of the other tech garbage companies that I worked at, calling them the garbage companies because they acted like it. I wasn't under, there wasn't this assumption that we weren't going to drink, right? I guess that would be the best way to put it. You have a few piglets in your kitchen? Oh, they're so cute. I love that. Well, we have Rhonda's space pig very prominently in the passageway from the dining room to the main living room area. So we see it all the time. It's very important. You could add some ice cream to the root beer to make a root beer float. Oh my gosh, yeah. Anyway, Friday afternoons at Microsoft, and it's actually for 1 year, most afternoons at Microsoft were a little bit grim. All right, let's see, what do I want here? I would like a little burnt sienna. So, all right, so here's the cool thing I could do about this. I can actually just be like, hey, look, there's my palette. Space Pig. I love Space Pig so much. Seriously. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have out already. I've got a little liquid out here. I was working on another painting, so I have a little bit of magenta that I'm going to keep. There's a little sky blue mix that's still good, some cerulean blue, another mix. Yeah, another mix. And then this is my indanthrene. I'm going to add a couple of colors. So we're going to see if I can pull something together. Rhonda says, you grew up on a pig farm. Might be why I was default to pigs. Oh, that's so cool. My dear friend and school romance, Dee, used to work at one of the local farms by us, Centennial Farm. And they had a number of different animals. It was actually very cool. I spent a couple of summers helping out, and it was strange to me that I lived in a suburb, and yet at the same time we had cows. Go figure. Had cows at a farm. All right, so I'm just going to grab a little bit of this is my thinner. First things first, though, I think I want to get a kind of a dark gray. I've got a little bit of burnt sienna here, and this is kind of a nice reddish color. So I'm going to neutralize it a bit with the. I don't think I'm going to use the purple. I'm going to use the indanthrene. I'm going to use the indanthrene. This should get us a nice gray tone of sorts. This should work out pretty well without being too black. I'm just looking for a paint color I can kind of draw with, and I'm keeping it on the warm side with the burnt sienna here. Sometimes I would use like a raw umber. Right? I'm not going to do that. So a little bit of, I'm going to take that less of my cerulean blue, and I'll use a little bit of this just to lighten it up. Again, I don't need it this dark. And once I get something that's kind of where I want it, that's a muddy brown, a little too muddy. All right, a little bit more indanthrene. Indanthrone is a very dark indigo, right? There we are. That's kind of what I wanted. Any marks I make with this color are going to be are going to be painted over as we go through this. Anyway, so let's just go with it. What I'm demonstrating with this painting is might just be that pigs are cute. Yeah, pigs are cute. Pigs are awesome. They're also intelligent. I really like them. Oh, Mopar powertrain area sales rep. Spend a lot of time in the car, and I get you home mostly Fridays. They give it all very cool. For the Mopar, you know, I grew up in outside of Flint, Michigan, and most of the people I grew up with were associated in some way or another with one of the big three, primarily GM and Ford up in the northern realms, but a lot of them were Chrysler, Mopar folks commuting to Detroit. So that's very cool. Very cool. Yeah, cute, right? I don't know if you can hear that. It's like pounding outside. That's very weird. All right, there we go. So I just wanted to thin this down, and we'll come up here to the painting. Hey, hello everybody. And I'm gonna see if I can't do a nice. Maybe I could pull this over and get a little better angle. See, I'm just gonna be able to keep messing with my camera for a while until there we go. Let's try that. All right, cool. Yeah, it'll come back. There we go. Focus. Focus. Oh, come on. Pigs could be cute, right? And not just like the animated pigs, right? Like the Charlotte's Web style ones, right? Yes. Okay. Hang on, folks. I'm gonna do one more thing here. Hold on. There, you can see my door now. All right, there we go. Aha! That and the cat litter bin that I'm actually using for a bin. There we are. Cool. All right, and that and right there. Ah, yay! There we go. Okay. Thank you for letting me do that. All right. The reason I'm thinning this down with a paint thinner is that any marks I make on here at this stage will dry pretty fast, right? Which is going to help us out. So you will sometimes see me drawing a painting before I commit to coloring it, and that's really the technique that we're working with on here. This is a little different than, say, like the Bob Ross style of painting where you just kind of go for it, right? This one allows a little more little more complexity. All right, so I need a horizon line. I'm gonna go ahead and strike this in. Let's go ahead and fill this area. Yeah, there we go. That's what we needed to do. Right there. Right. I'm gonna strike a horizon line. I kind of want a sort of bowl effect, if you will. So, yeah, there we go. Oh, it's kind of. I've mixed a color that looks like cat shit. Brilliant, Chris. Can you do a video, please, on how to mix a color that looks like cat vomit? Yes, happy little cows. Exactly. And what I really want here is kind of a pasture scene. And I'm just putting some. I think I'm gonna put the cow. Yeah, we're gonna put our cows right here. In fact, we're gonna have one just kind of sticking her head up here, maybe a little larger. So we're gonna get the skull here, head. So you'll forgive me. I don't. It's gonna look a little small here because I want more than one. And then we're kind of looking at the butt end. I keep doing the cow's butts, right? But this is like if Wes Anderson shot a movie about cows being abducted by UFOs. This is how it would look. So we're gonna have one here, and then we're gonna put one. This one's kind of staring straight out into space. Your pigs are cute. Cow patty collars, right? That's awesome. Pigs are cute when they're bacon. I love me some bacon. And then this one is going to be like not paying any attention at all. She's like, I'm gonna make this one a she. She's like, oh no, you can't stop me. I'm basically gonna be eating here. Yes, and I keep drawing my cows as if they're as if AI did them, but we'll see. That's okay. A little bit of stuff over there, and bacon. We'll put a couple just sort of sitting out here in the I'm doing my cows. They kind of look like sheep, don't they? Yeah, that's okay. We'll do our thing. And then I could do the I think I want one here. Looking back at us, right? So, like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'd never have a pig as a pet. I love pork way too much. All right, we're gonna put this one. This one's gonna be much larger just because of the shot. Actually, I think the front legs would be up a lot closer. If this cow is turning its head, then the mass of it would be basically right over here. We'll do grass. Oh man, this stuff does dry so fast. I'm running out of. This is just little bits of grass here. Bits of grass on here. We'll put a little bit on there. And again, the cows have patches of color. I'm doing heifers, right? So standard bovine heifers. All cows are cheese. That's true. Yes, good point. Forgive me. I knew that. I knew that. I did live in a subdivision that was very suburb America, right? So maybe I'll put a couple in the background out here, looking up, and a couple more. The Great Cow Gathering. We'll have a little tree line, right? I need more of this. Gosh, bear with me. Have a little tree line here. I think. So it's going to be simple. Maybe this is like just around the hill from our last painting. I'm not sure. And then over here we'll have a fence line. you know, I'll try my best to do the fence part with like one tree. This will be like maybe like an apple or something. You know, maybe there's an orchard involved over here. Okay. Maybe one more just to kind of break that on up. There we go. Little bits in the background. Okay, there we go. We got our little scene here. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna have to. This cow needs to be a little bit more pronounced. Cow, my darling. Yeah, we'll get in the details here. Oh, maybe she's got like one leg standing off to the side, like she's like, what? Oh wait, that would come way out over this way. Yeah. I'll make sure the ears go up, right? Okay. What a strange scene. What a very strange scene. Now, what are they seeing? This is the part where it gets weird. What are they seeing? Yes. You could be full of... Oh. That's fun. All right. So, we need it to be about right here. And we're going to do kind of the same thing. But this one's going to be a much larger ship, right? Let's see. And to all of you who are going out to see The Mandalorian and Grogu this weekend, let me know what you think. I don't think we're going to be able to make a play for it here. We'll see. I'll find out. Eventually, I'll see it. It may be the first official Star Wars movie that I have not gone to the theater to see in a very long time. Yeah. All right, so now we're going to have... This one's going to be big. Well. Let's see. This, what's going on here? This needs to come down here. All right, we're gonna kind of hint at... I'm putting these lines in kind of for my own reference, so I can kind of see the shapes I'm looking at. So, yeah. All right. I'm borrowing a little bit of the Joe Johnson V design thinking here with this one, but we're gonna make it work, right? From YouTube Star Wars channels, it's getting mixed reviews. Ah. Well, you know, I wish them well on it, because you know everybody that's working on a movie like that is very excited to be working on a movie, for one. Second, it is Star Wars, so you know, there's going to be there's that. Yeah. Okay, so we need... This is kind of going to be like the Boston, the Boston flying saucers. There's going to be little buildings and stuff on top of it, right? And maybe some details there. All right, there we go. All right. And then we'll figure out some an appropriate amount of detailing. I think there's going to be a spot right through here that will be kind of... Yeah, there we go. You saw the trailer? Weak. Oh. Are they phoning it in, you think? So this is really cool. It's getting a nice markdown, and honestly, it's mostly... At this stage, this is mostly drying up. This is kind of a... I will say this is a... this opens up how you attack an oil painting in a way that makes it, to me anyway, a little easier to deal with the oil painting, because it's not just a wet mess, which is great for landscapes and fun things like that. But for what I'm doing right here, not as much. Okay. Well, this time, I think this one's going to have some company. So we're going to do another one out here. Big enough to where I can see the details, right? And maybe another one over here. There we go. If Chris was having computer issues today, I was going to sneak off and catch an early showing. Okay. Yeah, I can never count on them. I counted them not happening, and then they do. So, you know, go figure, right? All right, a little bit of that off there. Okay, cool. So maybe this tree doesn't deserve to be there. Oh, I'm going to bring it back down. There we go. Yeah. And we'll make sure there's grasses here. Oh, is there like a little river? Do we have like a little river that we're on? Maybe this is a creek. Maybe I'll add a little creek there going through. So yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yo, hello. Good times. Alrighty, I am going to take a moment and let's work on managing. Oh man, I did almost spill that. Oh no. I'm going to clear the deck a little bit. All right. Now you get the up close and personal view of my paint palette. I'm going to move this over here. Yeah, it'll be good for later. And let me grab a thing. There we go. All right, palette cam. You love the CE3K vibe of the ship. Thank you. I kind of felt like it needed to go in that direction, right? All right, I'm gonna get some sky. I'm getting low on my cerulean blue. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna put a bunch out. I'm ordering some more. And actually, I have a recipe to. You can actually mix up a good facsimile of cerulean blue with phthalo blue, white, and you can adjust it greener or otherwise, right? Okay, let me grab. Let's see, how's my white? This white's really chalky, but let me put some out here. I want my basic sky color, so I'm gonna actually use a bunch of white, and let me grab some of this. Oh, this is really thick. Hello. Well, I might just go ahead and grab some of my liquid. By the way, for those of you just paying attention, when I work with oil paint, I am using my liquid original here. It's a good way to thin it down. Helps the drying time and all the other good things. Yeah, very cool. This is a very hot blue. Hot in terms of, even though I mixed it with white, it does kind of lose some of the hotness. However, it's still pretty hot. So I am going to take this, and then I'm going to mix up a slightly darker version of exactly that next to it. So we have kind of two tones to work with. All right. Hello. It's a little darker. Now, a lot of times, I'm just doing this on the fly. A lot of times I will go ahead and like match this up with the painting itself to make sure I'm in the right ballpark. But for right now today, I'm just gonna go work with this. Out of all things, the palette knife is the thing that really wrecks my wrist in this process. I don't understand why. However, it does. All right, get that out of there. Ah. It's just a lot of work. Okay, I need a yellow, so I'm going to grab... What am I going to grab for my yellow? Cadmium yellow pale hue. Yeah, we're going to go with that today. I'll put the yellow... All right, I kind of screwed up my... This is not the way I would normally lay out my palette, so I'm actually going to come over here with my warm colors. I'm going to get some yellow there. Okay, there we go. And the reason... I mean, of course I'll need yellow, but I'm going to grab some of this, my lighter color... Add a touch more white to it. Add a touch of yellow. Maybe too much, so let's add some more white. I need sort of the close to the horizon sky color. Oh, I probably went way too... Yeah, I'm going to get way too green. I was way aggressive on that. Way... Come back here. All right. That's okay. We'll make us work. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. It'll be fine. Yeah, it's way too green. So I might not put this straight on in this color, but in tinting, we trust. So it will work with what I'm trying, and we will need greens later. So there we go. Also, since I'm mixing in liquid on the fly as I'm working on this, it means that this stuff will not be happy with me after the painting is, after this is done. So yeah, you sometimes can leave your paints out for a couple of days if they're, you know, covered and they won't dry out, and then they still work out pretty good. With oils, that is. However, not if you add liquid to it. it'll turn into some serious issue stuff. I'm actually going to go ahead and grab this, add a whiter version of it, lighten it up the way I really wanted to. Apparently add more yellow. Unfortunate. Ah! There we go. All right. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Okay. Leave that happy there. And yeah, there are times working on paintings where you will literally just spend like an hour or so just setting up all your colors. That's really a... If you're working on control and painting colors and so forth, that's the way to go. All right, let's see. I need a little bit more liquid handy on the old board here, just so I've got it. I've actually gone through more liquid in the last 3 months, I think, that I've had in the last 6 years. No lie. All right, I need myself a nice bigger brush. I am gonna get ready for the rest of the painting. So I'm gonna come in here, and I'm getting a little bit of this liquid. Actually, I want liquid and a little bit of linseed oil. Linseed oil being the foundation of the oil paints anyway. I want a little touch of this. Adding linseed oil will help thin it down and give you a little bit more, you know, get a little smoother paint surface, but it also, yeah, it will slow down the drying time. So you got to kind of watch how much of that you're using. But I just want to get in here, and without really screwing up the, yeah, I can kind of, look at that. It's already dried up to the point where I can kind of go over it. That's cool. All right. Hopefully without adding too much. I just want a nice, oh, that was a lot. This is where you kind of come in and you're doing the wet on wet approach, right? And yeah, I probably should have put this, I probably should have done this before my drawing, but you know, we're just having fun on a Friday, right? There's really no rules. We can screw it up any way we desire, and you guys get to watch me screw it up every week. in various ways, right? So yeah, there we go. And actually, I don't mind having a little surface interest going on here. We're gonna work hard on getting the. There we go. I'm not gonna do. I'll do the same thing down below here when we get closer to working on it. You don't need a ton. You just want a little bit on here. Yeah. And you know, as you can see, I'm not really being precious about my line work here, right? Because I know I'm just going to be painting right over it. So it's really just for my own benefit. I think, you know, releasing some of that. Just being tight about your drawing in here. Yeah, sure. It's great that you are, but I would always kind of tighten up because I don't want to ruin the drawing. Haha, that'd be terrible. And you know that prevents me from actually proceeding and working. So yeah, there you go. All right, let me find myself. Oh, there we go. I would like a round filbert, and let's go on in here and get some. Get some blue in here. I'm just going to start putting this in. And we're going to start getting this. I'm going to bring the camera on in. I'm also I'm relying on autofocus, which maybe is a mistake. I don't know, but I'm relying on autofocus. Just because. All right. Now, I have like 3 different colors of sky, so I'm kind of thinking in terms of bands. I want this one, this kind of mid-tone sky, to occur on this level, if you will. There we go. About up to, yeah, about up to there. I'm just gonna, yeah, we'll come in and get, we'll take care of that later. And by kind of wetting the surface, it kind of just makes the paint go on like butter. It's really, or what did we say last week? Someone mentioned it's like painting with warm mayonnaise. Yeah, exactly. The trick is how to make the warm mayonnaise work for you, right? that's always the big one. Now, as I'm working on this, I need everyone in chat. Do I make these ships reflective like I did the last one? Because I'm kind of cool with that idea. I'm undecided on the treatment of the ships, or maybe they're kind of more matte finished. I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you think in chat as I'm making decisions. I'm making all the quality control decisions right now. So there we go. Yeah. Oh wow, is this? Maybe I will go right ahead and You know what? I am gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do a thing. I think I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the autofocus. Oh, I know why that isn't there. All right. Hang tight. Making a little adjustment here. There we go. It's this one. There we go. Manual focus. There we go. I was looking for the manual focus control and couldn't see the board. So there we go. All right. Let's just crisp focus. There we are. Okay, cool. Thank you. Shiny. Rhonda's got the vote for shiny. We're gonna go. I think we're gonna go shining. Kind of like let's be bad guys, right? I know I've got a lower horizon color prepared. You guys watch me prepare it, but I'm gonna get some paint on here. All right. Shiny and paint the cow's face on it. Yeah, right. It's like this thing's huge. It's enormous. All right, let's see if I can bring in. So now I'm going to bring in a little bit of the. I'm going to bring in the darker color now, and we are going to get this. I'll worry about the blending mode of this later. Let me get the other side here. This canvas also has a couple of strange flaws, so it's not going to be a perfectly smooth experience. I'm also okay with that now because I sort of like the paintings to have a little bit of imperfection to them. They have it naturally anyway, and I think it gives them character. I think this is going to be important. I think preserving character and imperfections may be important for those of us in the artistic world as we all learn how to deal with the great lazy enabler of AI turning everybody into slaves. Anyway, yeah, there we go. You love a good googly eye. Yes. Yeah, this is nice. Okay, I'm going to just try to get some more paint on here. There we go. Yeah. I didn't really set this up to be a very good, a very smooth surface. I'm struggling a little bit here. It's a little, it's thick and thin in places, but I like how it's blending, so I'm not terribly concerned yet. All right, get some more blue up here. I really want a more even tone on this, and it's going to be difficult to do on one pass, right? So in theory, this should be like one of 3 passes, the way I'm going about it. But you know, we're going to make it work. It's all good. All right. I'm just complaining here. I will come back in and render the ship's version of sky separately. Let's get. All right, let me just get this here. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'm going to unload the brush here on the side of my canvas is what I'm going to do. Okay, there we go. Sides and top. Okay, just a second. I'm about ready to switch over to get the horizon line painted part here. So let me. Oh my gosh! I forgot something though. Oh my God! We've got our. Since we have a river, I'm going to at least fill in some of the necessary colors. This, I mean, you can't just do a blue river, right? But it's going to help me. This is going to help me where. Yeah, there we go. It's not blue anymore. See, there we go. Ha. All right, there we go. So we have that. Oh, right. All right, here we go. Moving over to the brighter color on the bottom. So this is like an almost green. It is actually very green. And that is intentional. As I'm finding, as I'm watching skies, they definitely, you know, you get closer to the horizon, you get sort of an atmospheric effect going on. Where the atmosphere is getting thicker, right? And does a little color change. Ah, see, that's just too much fun. There we go. Yay! Okay, let me bring it back a little bit. I am going to see if I can do a nice... what do I have? Oh, I could do this, right? That one's too stiff. I'm looking for a brush I can use to... Yeah, here we go. I've got one here. Blick Essentials. All right, cool. I'm going to see if I can do a little blending on this. That's picking it right up off the canvas. Bummer. Okay, well, anyway. That was a nice try. Weird. Okay. Anyway, we'll just keep working these. The hard part for me is painting figures. My brain wants to make them as crisp and perfect as a sideshow statue, and think that's the perception across the board, but it has no heart. That me too, seriously. So when I try to attack an organic, right, cows, humans, or whatever, I found, aside from taking it apart mentally and drawing it, right, I like kind of massing in the place. It's because even people, oh, there's a little thing on there. Yeah, cool. Even people have what do you call it? Well, nobody stands perfectly symmetrical, right? No one, even they'll slouch. You've got something moving one or the other. Oh my God, it's looking like a snow scene. Holy crap. It looks like a snow scene. I'm just noticing it. And then Hootie Bomb says, Jon Snow just meowed at me and jumped up on my lap. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. We're, one of our cats is missing. I'm very sad to report. They got out last night. and one of them is too freaked out to come back into the house. So it's a little freaky. I don't like it. It's got me on edge, but I know she'll eventually come back. It was a lot of lawn mowing going on, and they got out on the roof, and yeah. It's not like I don't have 19 other cats, right? All right. I'm coming back in with a little bit more of my of this blue paint because I kind of went through to the canvas up here. I didn't like it. All right. Actually, I should do this one. So on this one, if it's all, you'll get like a, yeah, we're gonna get blue up here. There we go. Okay, I'm going right in the middle of this to start working it. You named your cat John Snow. Of course. I love that. I personally love that. So, you know, that's great. And in our case, Loki, not a boy cat. That is a girl kitty. We named her before we had properly properly assessed the situation. Let's put it that way. So, yeah. Too funny. Anyway. I hope she finds her way back to us, because that would really suck, losing a cat. She's adorable. Anyway, I guess I am gonna just, instead of like moving on, I'm gonna go ahead and try to I'm gonna go ahead and just try to get some paint in on this. So I need a thing there. If this whole thing is chrome, then we're gonna get some blues, reflections of the sky, but this is like an inverted, flattened, well, it's a dish, right? It's a big salsa. So we're gonna have some compression of the sky. All the sky colors are gonna rapidly go from this to this. So we're really gonna kind of almost fire straight through to here. And because it's a little more green, this is going to make it chrome, but not 100% chrome. It's not going to be reflecting the exact condition around, because it's affected by whatever the material this thing is. It's probably some combination of who knows what. I have no idea. All right, let's get the one in here. So yeah, oh wow, here we go. I am liking where this is going. There we go. The magic of the painting starts happening when you get the when you kind of get all the players in place, right? All the colors. There we go. And this is where it's fun. This is where it kind of starts getting into, like, now I'm pushing and pulling different shapes and everything. It's kind of cool. Oh, yeah. Jon Snow the cat. Jon Snow has made an appearance in our Discord a couple of times. Thank you. That's pretty cool. I love it. Yeah, brightening that up a little bit with my lighter green. And I'm going to do the same down here. Around that. There we go. A little bit more. I haven't been very careful about my mixtures here, so it's kind of weird. Anyway, paint mixtures. There we are. There's going to be a detail in here. I'm leaving this brown spot. This is kind of going to be like the hole, if you will. There's going to be a hole at the bottom. And let's see if I can get these to do their thing properly. Now that's actually going to need to be a little darker. There we go. A little bit there, and then grab a little bit more of the blue. There we go. Yeah. We definitely have some cat names that have possibly the roots in in fandom, if you will. Yeah. I have an Apollo. We don't have a Starbuck, strangely enough. I don't really have any that are Star Trek named, though. That's weird. I don't really have any that's Star Trek named. It's very strange. Strange for me, anyhow. Yeah. All right. I'm just going to try to grab my color back here. I've actually run out of my colors. Bear with me for a second. I'm kind of getting some. I want to get some blue in here. Not quite as blue. And then over here, these are smudgy, I know. They're really smudgy. It's a little unfortunate, but we'll get there. Yeah. Oh, I know what I can actually do. Coming a little darker blue here. Got that Inden Throne that I left on before, so I'm going to bring that in to darken those up. Same with over here. Doesn't take much. It's a really nice color. I like it. Once you get something down there, it interacts nicely with everything else. There we go. It's Space Chrome! Rhonda says, I realized the other day the beast is 13 years old. I found that more upsetting than turning 62. Oh, yeah, we love our old beasts. Our OG Rhonda Tang, he's about up there, 13, and yeah, we thought we had some concerns about him during the move. I was not sure if he was going to make it. He was really stressed, and he held out. It was really great. So we're very happy to have them along. All right. Yeah. And as long as there's nothing really happening, it's actually kind of cool. So they are probably working okay, right? Fingers crossed. All right. I'm gonna work on working on some details up at the top here. Let me see if I can't. I don't know if all of this appears chrome, but if it is, I'll just we'll work it. I have a little purple. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah, there we go. I'm not sure how the purple's going to work, but we're gonna play it in anyway. All right. Actually, let me see if I can't. Yeah, I'm going to work up a different color. Just something to have on at the side here. Oh man, that is a very purpley color. I'm trying to work on sort of a dark gray, a very dark gray, not even shifted one way or the other. So give me a second here, and I will have this. Haha. There we go. I don't want to go black, but I need a dark. Yeah. This is my attempt at not black. Okay, there we go. I know, I'm just working off. I should be. I'll give you an example. The state of the affairs here on the old. I just mixed that up. So yeah, there we go. Space Chrome. All right. I always kind of get my paint a little too there we go, a little too thin maybe. So this way I'm going to be able to come in here and work on some of the details up top. There we go. Right. Give them a little top-down view. Light's coming in from this side. So I'm going to be like... on all the objects that aren't chrome, and there's going to be some on top, we're going to get some... get some shadow areas, right? There we go. Okay, and then I would like... I'm gonna get some detail where there's going to be a cutout in here. Where stuff's happening. So I'm going to keep adding some of this in. I'm trying to be mindful too, instead of just putting a stripe across and filling it in, I'm kind of, which is really what I would do here. I want the, kind of want to just get in some shapes. All right, there's that. So there's chrome parts and then there's not chrome parts, right? Space chrome, yeah, gives a 0.25% speed of light boost. Was it? Yeah, yeah, I love it. Same thing down here. I'm painting in greebly fashion, by the way. By that means I'm assuming there's stuff happening in here, and so by adding the shadows, we'll be able to really boost this up a bit. I really feel like I've got some stuff going on from you know, like I said, was it heck, I'm gonna forget it. I'm gonna forget who did all the. I just mentioned his name too on the show V. It wasn't Brian Johnson. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Help me out here, Chad. Who's the one that was big on doing the effects for V? I can't recall. Anyway, I just saw a thing on it too. Well. Okay, got that, and then I'm going to add a little bit of kind of the same color, and we're going to get some details on these guys. These are the background saucers, right? Well, giant flying saucers. Gigantic flying saucers, right? Yeah. I've taken this color that I mixed before, mixed a little bit of my sky to give it, you know, make a little less contrasty, a little less dark. Really, I should be using a smaller brush for this. There we go. We'll give it some hint of some things happening. Excuse me. There we go. Yeah, all right. That's right. Adding space chrome to your ship is like adding a supercharger on your muscle car. Well, it's the same thing as when you clean your car, right? After you give it the bath that's needed for like all summer, it goes better. It runs faster. Seriously. Nobody can tell me otherwise. There we go. I really went blue to touch this kind of up. I want sort of the feature details to be pretty pronounced. So I want this and this in here. I'm going straight into the indenthrine punching the contrast in a little bit more. Punch the contrast in up here on this side. A little darker down in there. I kind of want a lot of fiddly bits going on, so I'm just going to sort of hint at complexity up here. Because this one's going to have to, since this one's so close, it's actually going to have a lot of stuff that goes on. So, yeah, there we go. I have picked a rather complicated scene. Holy crap. Anyway. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay. All right. Da 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 da. Kind of want to come back in, add my fence posts, add the fence post back. There we go. Gonna do one of those. I don't that much so. And then maybe our tree trunk too. A tree. Oh, I'm sorry. Got to move this over there. There we go. All right. Thinking trees, folks. Thinking trees. We actually have a pretty good sized apple tree in our backyard, and it might actually, for the first time this year, might actually do some producing. That would be very cool. All right. That's not working. All right, there we go. All right. More like this. On the other side. Here we go. Doing down there. And I have a couple of trees here. And this time I'm going to kind of work them on in. Ah, losing my color. Losing my color. Gosh darn it. Yeah, see now I'm in Bob Ross territory with the wet paint over here on this side, but that's okay. I am tempted to turn it into a snow scene. It's already kind of looking like one, isn't it? But yeah, I don't know if I really want to do that. So we had a couple of cows over here, right? And one there and one over there. I'll have to just put those back in. And yeah. Yeah, thinner brush. Or I just need to work it properly, Chris. That's what I gotta do, yeah. And then you can just like basically spend the whole next hour here just doing this kind of stuff. It's really great. It's actually kind of relaxing. Turn this on in. This will eventually have stuff to it. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh. Seasonal encounters. Yeah. Snow encounters. I'm kind of toying with the idea of making these this one here maybe a little less chromy, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. All right. I'm not sold on this painting yet, so I'm really kind of it may and it may not work. I don't know. I don't like that. I want more blue in those. There we go. A little bit more from there. And okay. Well, let's see here. Bum, bum, bum. Actually, I painted this with the intention of green grass, so I am not going to switch it up from there quite yet. But what I'm going to do, I am going to go ahead and take a quick break. There we go. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to recalibrate the paints a little bit, and we'll get started on the ground area over here. So don't go away. I will not be far. And when I come back, we'll knock in some details down here, get some cows painted. Should be a good time. So yeah, there we go. I will leave this right there. And where is my it's this one. There we go. Autofocus. There we go. All right, folks. Stick around, and I will be right back. Thank you. Here we go. Hang tight. All right. Hey everyone, hi, we're back. Hello. Sorry, I know, gigantic face, right? There we go. Great. Let's pull this back. I'm Christopher Dahl. Thank you for joining me on a Friday afternoon here. We're doing a little space art. Seasonal cow encounter. Wait, seasonal encounters. Yes. The silliness has taken over with the live stream. That's okay though. We're really great. Snow encounters. So I need to add some Imperial walkers in the background. Imperial troops have entered the base. Imperial troops have entered the base. So yes, some like it Hoth. No, we're gonna get some green in here. So in the meantime, let me go ahead and just let's get on down here. See, look how crazy this has become. I'm gonna move some paint. Move some paint over. This is all useless, so let's just get rid of all that. That's all kind of a mess. Yeah, there we go. I'm not going to be too terribly religious about it. This could come in hand. This pile could come in handy later. So there we go. Yeah. The nice thing is when you do establish sort of a rudimentary palette of colors here, I never actually added all the colors I would use. I just sort of ran with it. In fact, let me go ahead and add my green. Have some sap. I have some sap green, which is I used the last time. So I'm gonna grab some of this. The tube that I had for my sap green just died. So I am gonna put this out. I just decanted it into a something about the tube failed. So I have it now in a jar. I'm also gonna get out, which also happened to this paint, my yellow ochre. So I'm gonna get some yellow ochre out. Let's see, which is really unfortunate because I like these colors and I use them a lot. That's probably way too much. That's okay. So until it's held up well. I added a little bit of, I just kind of shoved it in here, added a touch of the linseed oil, gave it a quick mix, and we had those ready to go. Now for blue, I would like I want some ultramarine, and that's down here as well. Here we go. All right, add a little ultramarine to the mix. Back over here next to my indanthrene. And for my reds, I've got some, so let's see, I've got magenta there. I think I'm going to bring in my alizarin crimson, whatever that is. Hang tight. I would like, rats, where'd that go? All right, it is beyond my reach, apparently. Aha. Cadmium, ooh, I could do a cadmium red. Some cadmium red medium. Let's change it up a little bit. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll stick with, okay, so I'm gonna stick with the magenta, since I have that. And I'm gonna add a little cad red medium here. I actually have this, I don't think this tube has been opened yet. I want a little bit of red. I like my cad reds. They're incredibly dangerous. I know. Don't eat your paints, kids. Don't even think about it. Yeah. There we go. A little quinacridone magenta. So I think I'm pretty well. I've got a pretty good mix of all the necessary things. I think I've got enough of that green. Yeah. All right. Let's get some grass colors. So grassy field, right, is kind of where. Let me pull this on over. Grassy field. So I'm gonna grab my. I'm gonna add the sap green. It's a really good dark one. The thing about this, it's an okay green. It's really decent. It's still pretty bright. So I'm gonna add a little bit. This is the brown that I used in the background. That's gonna help tone it up just a touch. And I also want this to be a little bit more on the yellow side, so I'm going to add a little touch more yellow to that. This will help brighten it. I'm going for sort of a tone that's going to play nice with these colors. And to do that, I'm going to steal some cerulean blue. There we go. Yeah. So by adding all of those, I added a little bit of yellow, a little bit of the blue, and I had this mixture here, which is kind of a gray tone. I'm going to add a touch more of the magenta. Not a lot, just enough to sort of turn it a little bit pasty. There we go. Yeah, that's what we wanted. Because, you know, yeah, you occasionally the hardest thing, and this is my own color mixing issue lesson right now. And not everything is a hot color, right? So this is as green. This is green too, but it's not like super bright. So yeah. In fact, I'm going to take it over here and I'm going to mix it with this color, which is my sky color, to get a nice olive, lighter olive tone. And that is going to be, this is going to be our base. I want a little bit more of that, so I'm going to do that. A little touch of white. There we go. Yeah, there we are. These muted tones are going to help me with the field colors, and then we'll come in afterwards and add some real hot grasses and flowers to give it some tone. And then after I get this in, I'll try to get the cows. I'll try to get the cows going. So there we go. Yeah. Right. I'm gonna go back to my big flat brush. The lords of flat brush, right? Here we go. All right, a little bit of liquid, and we're just gonna go for it. Let's get in some color. There we are. I feel like the sooner you can get the canvas covered, the better. Which I actually, you've been watching me for the last couple of weeks start with these white canvases, right? So that's one thing that I probably need to sort out a bit. I need to do some toned canvases again, because you know this works out okay, but I really like I don't like fighting with, you know, seeing the canvas, and you really are. It's very white, right? It's a very white canvas, so that means it's boring as shit. No, anyway. And yeah, so we're just gonna kind of get some color in here. Oh, look at it. The canvas already, all that liquid I put on earlier, it's kind of dried up a little bit. So I actually kind of feel like I want to get in and do some. There we go. I'm taking advantage of the fact that it's got a little bit of you know, I've got some kind of scrubby stuff going on here, and I'm going to see if I can, instead of just going straight flat colors, maybe pull this off into some detail that I can work with this one. Here we go. Not really the right way to do it, but we're just going to go anyway. Yeah. Let's just... Damn it. Okay. All right. Ta-da! And the liquid. The longer this painting goes on, the more I smell barbecue. Oh! Ooh! Yeah! I didn't even get the pigs in yet. The pigs are in the blankets. No. Pigs in the blanket. Now, I will say the only thing you can really smell of the paints here, I can smell the oils, right? Oil paints have a very distinct smell, and I can smell the liquid because that has, you know, a petroleum base to it. But overall, it's not really that, you know, not too bad. So I got a nice darker green on there, and let's just. Since remember the sun's coming in from this side, so this hillside over here is going to have a little. It's going to be in shadow. So we're going to do this little cow. I'll put her there. Let's bring this on up a little bit more. There we go. I can't forget that she's there, right? Obviously, no. And we'll indicating there's a hill dropping off and then flattening a little bit. There we go. Got this cow with giving a little. Go. A little darkness on here, going across there, a little darker on there, so we can indicate that there's some shadow. Same thing with this one. I lost this one in the mix a little bit, so I'm going to have to try to work this poor girl back out. This is the one that was looking back towards us, though, so I do want to keep that. There we are. Yeah, I'm being extra scrubby here just to get the color into the canvas a little bit. I'm not being shy about it. Actually, I'll even come in and just be like, boop. Really, the goal here is just to get as much of the ground cover covered as possible. All right, I gotta kind of remix all of that stuff because I just ran out. Go figure. All right, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. We'll touch the blue. There we go. We'll touch a yellow. Brighten that up a bit. Yeah. And then I'll get this side right over here. This color for the other side of this hill. This is a hill coming down to the what's basically this very blue creek, and it's silly that it's that blue, but this is going to have a little bit more green to it. So pastoral is what we're thinking here, right? Pastoral. Yes. All right. I've been in these fields that cows hang out in. They're always kind of muddy, and they're never like the greens are definitely very subdued, right? Lots of earth tones, lots of yellows. All right. And I'm just kind of pulling this on off. I'm going to let the details here get a little hazy, what's going on in there. But, yeah, overall, I think we've got a scene. Okay, so really it's the first time we've got... Oh, sorry. It's the first time I've got the entire scene kind of in place, if you will. And I like this moment where you can kind of like balance out, because the only bright spots now are the cows, and I can kind of see where those are, even though I'm going to fill those in. Now it's kind of more like you can sort of see what the scene is going to be. Granted, I still have tree effects to put in here, and maybe I'll go ahead and do that right now. Let me grab a different brush. I am going to go in, what do I want next? I kind of am feeling the need... Oh wow, I got a brush here that I did not clean properly. Bummer, a round brush. Kind of feeling like a round brush. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna do the round brush. Okay. I'd like to get in some indication of trees in there. So I'm gonna grab a couple of I'm gonna rework a color here real quick. What am I gonna do with that? There we go. Cool. All right, so now I have a round brush, and I'm gonna see if I can work this in a little bit. Let me grab in. So I'm grabbing kind of a darker green. Oh, I've got a glare on this side. Hang on, folks. There we go. All right, that helped. So I'm just gonna kind of. That's pretty green. I'm getting one of the browns to brown this up a little bit. There we go. Maybe that got a little too dark. I think I got a little too dark. Bummer. Okay. Anyway, it's all right. We'll get it to go. I'm just gonna do its thing. Actually, I had another tree in the background over there, so I just want to hint at foliage. Foliage. There we go. I'm gonna Bob Ross the crap out of this part, right? Yeah, there we go. This part here got a little too dark, but I'm going to use the same colors, sort of, over on the next trees over here. Let me adjust them just a touch. Let's see. This one, I would like a bit of that. There we go. I'm just kind of grabbing random greens and magentas here. So I'm going to come in with this. And the same print, I'm kind of coming in to get the darks, the dark trees, the dark leaves on the trees. I'm kind of going back in to fill these in. Stop being so. I really don't have anything compressing this together, and I'm being violent with my paintings. This happened to be the last time. I got a little too what's the word I'm looking for? I got a little too. I need to be a little. I need to be a little more careful. I don't want to smudge this into too many trees. My brush is not doing what I want it to do, so that's all right. Don't go too high, Chris. There we go. This kind of tree line motif that I'm carrying over, and I don't mind it being a little muddy so you don't really see what's happening to it, but I'm going to just use the shape of the brush here to help define some tree forms. There we go. And I left a little bit more in the background there to sort of give it a. I'm trying a different style tree. Let's put it that way. We're working on a little different style tree. Right. Okay. Now let me come back and down here. What we really before I go to too much detail on any of this, I need to indicate in the spaceship the fact that there's a giant field under here, and now that I have my greens, I can kind of do this. So let's complete the illusion at least of this. So even if I don't get to doing cows, we can at least do that. Okay, so I'm working up a little lighter color here, and so what's going to happen is all of this is going to be compressed into these zones. You're going to get a little hint of the green in every one of these pieces, and I'll try to carry it over here. Oh, this one's gotten really smudgy, so I think I'm going to have to work this one as we get closer. In theory, that green, the green of the landscape, will be down here, like that, and it's going to make that be muddy, isn't it? Yes, it is. And I'll be able to redefine that a little bit better later. I'm not going to really be able to see the detail. This thing's way too. I don't think I'm going to be able to see too many details of the cows in this one. And the reflections. I don't know. We'll see. I'll check it out in a minute. But let me get. Let me at least get this part in. There we go. So yeah, yeah, we're getting there. A little bit on this side. And, you almost have to treat it like, two separate reflecting surfaces, right? That's basically what I'm doing. And make sure that the greens that you use absolutely register in here. That's the more important thing. There we go. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I try these things, and sometimes it's like, do they work? I don't know. We're gonna see. I have no idea. We'll find out. I don't know, people. I'm not sure. All right, let's get this. And this one. In theory, this whole bottom piece is probably going to be mostly, I think that's what's throwing me off. I think this is what's going to be happening. I think this green needs to come all the way up around there. and that becomes, yeah, there we go. That becomes the reflection of everything, and it needs to be, yeah, it definitely needs to be up further. There we go. I think that's what it needed. Yeah. Listen to your instincts. You must listen. Yes. Cool. All right. Although in theory, it's one contiguous surface. I don't think I'd get really any blue in here. All right. You would only get like the basic edge of it, right? There we go. Yeah, that's what's happening. You would get a little bit, but not the way I had it. So there we go. That's what we're going to do. We're going to just add and keep adding details like that. That's what's happening. There we go. Okay. I take that all back. I take it all back. I wasn't doing it right. Right. In fact, that's what we're going to have to do up there. And then make sure we do this on this side. There we go. It's funny how many people from the last painting have come to me and said that it looked like the ship from Flight of the Navigator, that Disney movie that we were just talking about after the last one. I think it's pretty funny that is the that people see the Flight of the Navigator ship on the last painting so much. I think that's actually a lot of fun. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. All right. Just checking the old time here. I'm gonna do a little computer check. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. I'm gonna take a second and I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna check the monitoring of the system here and make sure that we are okay. I'm really just checking there's a temperature load. Let's see. CPU load. All right. Yeah. It's a little hotter than normal, obviously. It's been running for what? An hour and 40 minutes, but it's not too bad and seems to be handling it well. I can feel the warmth from the thing, but yeah, there we go. Sorry, I'm just looking over at my laptop. Yeah, see, it's got the thing going on there. There we go. Yes, I'm just doing my thing. Welcome to my studio. Yeah. Okay. 75. So it's running about on idle. It was clocking in at about 65 degrees Celsius, and now it's up to about 75. So yeah, I'm not surprised that as long as it's going, it does that. So anyway, yay! Oh my gosh. Da-ba-dum-bum. I like that I can see where the scene is going. That's pretty cool. I definitely can do that. I'm going to change brushes. All right, what is my next brush option going to be? I need a different, I'll go for a slightly smaller filbert here. Yeah, I got a slightly smaller filbert. And just going to get it ready to roll. Okay. I think I'm going to try to get in. I'm going to keep working from the background forward. Let me just randomly grab a scene here. And also, I know it's a little disruptive watching me do this and constantly moving the camera around, but I hope it's enjoyable. Let me know what you think. I'm going to probably add, like I said, I'm going to probably add back the other camera shortly. But let's get in some indication here of the river itself. I want that to sort of show up as very dark. And then there's going to be kind of a oh, I do feel like I've gone into Bob Ross land on this side of things, and that's not a complaint. It just is, right? It just is. Alrighty. Down here underneath this cow, I would like some indication of the where this cow's feet is. I put the foot back in, put this one's coming down there, and shadow, bring the shadow up. There we go. We want realistic shadows here. Shadow under this one. There we go. And I love how I'm just sort of sculpting these without really defining them. Can you just tell I'm just being a wimp about it? This one who's looking at us, she's going to be right there. And this one that's just sort of sleeping, going, yeah, whatever. I've seen these critters before. We'll put her shadow right back there. And we'll see, legs. Yeah. Legs, elbows, knees, and toes. That was cracking me up. Yes, that's. There we go. That's what we're gonna need. There we go. Yes, and let's get this on in over in there. You get so close to the scene, it's kind of hard to tell, sort of, what is happening. So, worth stepping back. Okay. Brace. I want it darker on the hill. A little dark on the hill that side. Oh, my background. Holy crap, I completely forgot about my background. Yeah, there we go. Sure. Gonna need a hillside in the back, a hill background of some sort. So I got hills right in the distance. Is that what's happening? Hills in the distance. There we go. Sort of. Hey, Raoul Duke's here. How you doing, Raoul Duke? Hey, check it on out. We are I'm doing the official version of Encounters, Close Encounters. We're working on version number 2. Although the cows themselves are a little rough right now. I used AI on the cows here. See, I plugged in like Claude into my brush, and it came up with these. So there we go. Yeah. Making a cow is looking this way and looking there. Okay. Yeah, I'm a weirdo. All right. So I'm just curious, like if I put flowers in the scene, they're gonna show up very brightly, which is really cool. Neat. And I'm just gonna have, I don't know if I want them in there, but we're just gonna add them in, because the one thing this painting is desperately needing is some red, and it doesn't have any. So I can tell. I can really tell. It's just the way it goes. And welcome to the crazy version of the live stream where I'm just like peeking in around the corner of the camera. It makes me look like a madman, but you know, overall it's working. So there we go. Yeah. All right. Grabbing a little bit of my yellow ochre, a little bit of my cad red here, and I'm gonna get in a couple of indications of color. Close encounter of the herd kind. There we go. I am trying to add a herd, so I think we're in the right place. Yeah, I think we're getting there, aren't we? We're making this work. Close encounters of the. Can you hear the tones? Can somebody send me the tones, right? The cows are going to be in some, will actually be in a couple of different they're going to be in some warm tones. This is going to work out pretty well. I just like adding the element of this red. It helps my eyes see it a little bit and helps bring it into perspective. Yes. And there we go. A little bit there. A little hint of that. I don't really have a good indication of the sun yet, so let me grab. Sun would be like over here. I'm tempting fate adding this yellow right over the blue because it's going to go straight to green if I'm not careful, but I don't mind. We're just going to make it work. There we go. Add a little bit of white there. Add some zingers. There we go. Adding some. I'm trying to brighten up the object here so I make sure that I'm actually doing this right? Actually, this whole thing would be kind of a bright. Yeah, there we go. It would kind of be bright on this side, like this. Yeah, there we go. It would be like a, there would be a shine right from right here. You get a little bit of it on the edges there, just because it overtakes everything. Let me put this up so you can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. Yeah. This does require me to be a little more active on my camera positioning than I normally would, but I don't mind. I can handle this. There we go. There we are. Any amount of these will be helpful in bringing this back to the, yeah, making it read exactly as it should. I'm using more white here than I normally would. I find that very interesting. And then finally over on this side, a little bit over there. There we go. A little touch there. It is like it's a giant glass thing, right? And then on the bottom, down here. Ah. I didn't do that side right. I need to do it like that. There we go. Okay. I'm going to need a much smaller brush to do the same thing with the littler ones. So give me just a second. Actually, I could probably use this little one right here. There we go. If I get rid of all the other stuff from it. How's your week going, Raoul Duke? All right, we're going to get this bright there. And these don't have the darks to it yet, so it's going to be a little trickier. But I'm going to make them read the way they should. And I'll worry about the detail part later. There we go. A little bit over there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. And the same with this one. Here I am working, spending all the time on getting the UFO parts right. we all see which ones are important, which parts are important to me. Oh my gosh, right? Very important. All right, let's get a nice color for the top here. I have some components I need to render on the top. I can still see up there. So let's get, all right. A nice color here for adding these things. Coming back in. Basically, I'm taking every thing that every shadow object up here and trying to add a highlight side to it to make this whole thing read well. And I'm just speeding through this. If this were like a commission or something, this would be like, I'd be taking up far more time. I'm just kind of playing here, so bear with me. I hope that you're having fun watching me do this. It's a good time. There we go. It's getting a little confused. I'm not gonna go too far with it. Okay, there we go. Yeah. All right. I have a very good color now for these leaves, so I'm going to be adding a few of those just to define them a bit more. And then the same over on this side over here. I might just prepare. I might have to say. I think I'm going to save the cows. I have to get cow definition is what I'm going to need. And I don't think I'm going to get to that. I feel like I'm probably going to get to a point here, and we'll be lucky if I just have this thing in. Much stronger, much longer painting than I'd anticipated. Right? I always do this. Very grateful it's Friday and a holiday weekend. Hey, yeah, I forgot about that. Holiday weekend indeed. I was laughing earlier about how it crept up on me, the holiday. Yeah, for me, it was like, oh, that's news. This is my problem. I spent all my damn time in the office here, and I don't get out anymore. So, all right, cow butt. I know there's like a bit up there. Maybe I just like painting cow butts. Maybe that's why I'm doing this. This cow's got a little more brown going on, I guess you could say. But yeah. Hey, brown cow. Let's see, right down there. There we go. I'm grateful it's Friday too. Stephanie's schedule has adjusted, so I am no longer following the. She had a schedule where basically Wednesday and Thursday were our weekends, and yeah, so now not so much. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I think that was affecting me more than I realized. This looks more like a lamb than a cow, but bear with me. So. I'm very much looking for. Oh, it's very lamb. This is very lamb-like. I gotta work on my cow anatomy, right? There we go. So a little bit more of a. There's a hump. I can fix that for you. So, what hump? No. I can fix that hump for you. That's right. I can fix that hump for you. What hump? Bum, 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 bum. I always assume there's like tufts of grass in here, so I'm gonna try to get that part in here. I haven't really worked up the I haven't really worked up all these details yet. So I think and getting the darkest darks. I've been walking my way up to it a bit. So here we go. I'm going to put her sitting like that. There we go. All right. I was thinking about the number of times I've seen a cow, and for the life of me, I can barely remember the shape. Although I do know it's kind of like I need to do that. I haven't been doing the pink. You know how they have like the pink noses. I haven't been doing that as much. So I get confused in this part, which is why I'm just covering it. And I'll define a cow out of this at some point. You have my word. Just want to do it some justice before I do anything else here. So there's a cow here. And we're going to need kind of spots here for the grasses. And I kind of felt like there was going to be a little break in the action here, like just before that goes up. Maybe there's even a log or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. I'm making it all up as I go. Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, too funny. Well, I'm enjoying where this is going, if that helps. And it kind of turns into like a, the details start becoming things that pop out of the effects here. It's really, you know, I feel like the blocking the color in is really just the, you know, step one, if you will. And then you get into doing all the fun stuff after that. That's where these paintings really open up, I think. Trying to... There we go. Yeah. There we go. And water. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm tired. I'm beat. No, it's a lot. It's you know, it's more than just one of these. Cows are are shaped like steaks. they're all shaped like steak, and the pigs, of course, being shaped like bacon, right? That's the way that goes. Oh, over there. Oh my gosh, yeah, cool. Yeah, huh? We've had about 2 hours, an hour and a half, a good hour and a half of solid painting here to get this one in the place that it's at. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I feel like I want to let this one. I would like to let this one set up. And I kind of did this a little bit on the last one, but I want to do more detail on the cows, and I kind of want to. I think I want to. Yeah, they're right now. It's like the last painting. They look like AI cows, right? If I posted this right now, people would be like, "Oh, you just used AI to do the cows." No, I use my noodle. So there we go. Cows are shaped like steaks. I see. I got where you were going. That's all cool. No worries. But so yeah, so I'm not gonna post this one up for any kind of up in the store till I finish it, and heck, maybe I'll finish it on the Patreon Sunday. I had another plan on Sunday. I definitely want to do the show and tell. But for those of you that are showing, we do a Patreon only live stream on Sundays, 3 p.m. And I'm going to be showing off some of the pieces that one of the pieces I've been working on. I haven't shown anybody yet that I'm finishing, to my shock, to the shock of everybody. And maybe I'll work on the cows on Sunday. Maybe I'll finish the cows then. I feel like I've got a good grip on how the rest of this stuff goes together. I just I need cow anatomy lessons. I need to practice drawing these bastards. So. Really, the last painting was the first time I've even tried painting a cow, and you can kind of tell. But they're working. The ears. Since we weren't going to really be seeing their eyes, I had to go with the ears. So I want this cow. This cow's got the what the heck, right? Like whatever's happening, like these things show up, right? Dum 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 dum, and then I. This is my attempt at personality, where the cows just get up going, what the, I'm in the middle of eating. This one's gonna be like, oh God, not again, and this one doesn't even notice. This one's basically just waking up, and then the other one's over here. I was kind of thinking maybe these two ships already have cows being taken up, so there might be some miniature cows in the background, and more detailing on the ship thing here. That absolutely. So yeah. Talk about the series I never expected to be doing, the cow encounters. It's kind of fun, actually. I'm enjoying constructing the scenes. It's good practice. It's great practice for skies. It's good practice also for my groundscapes, because these kinds of greens in here, they remind me of like Michigan summers, right? These are the fields that I grew up in, which are also very similar to the fields you see out here in Pennsylvania, by the way. They're very close in terms of geography. In fact, there's a lot of walking outside. It feels like a Michigan forest, honestly. So a lot of this for me is practicing with that sap green. And trying to get greens that aren't like really, really hot, because that was always when I would mix greens. And they don't look natural. So that's the word I'm looking for. The natural greens are kind of my mini lesson that I'm going through for myself. So because I actually have a bunch of scenes I want to paint that involve this. They don't all involve cows and aliens, although that's a pretty significant portion of it. I did find my Independence Day alien paintings that I started on the live stream last year. I did Independence Day, the alien ships from Independence Day, hovering over Seattle. I have 2 of them. There was a 3rd planned in that series. So those are on the stack to be finished as well. But I had an idea for an alien ship hovering over the White House, the same way it is in Independence Day. But instead of the beam hitting the White House itself, it's actually just making a giant crater just to the east of the White House, like as if this alien ship came all the way down, hovered over the White House, got really close, and then decided just to instead of destroying the White House, just made a crater out of the building next to it. Hey, Nanu's here. How you doing? So that was another one. I don't know if I've got the guts to do it, but I might, because it's fucking hilarious. The way I pictured it. Anyway, let me know. How you doing, Nanu? Good to see you. Thanks for joining on the live stream. I'm on our Friday here in Pennsylvania. Yeah, I'm a little off because we have one cat still roaming about that she's a little freaked and hasn't decided to come back in, but she's hanging out in the garage is what she's doing. She's a little spooked by having gotten outside, so I'm hoping to see her back here soon. It puts me right out. It's really weird. Anyway, I hope your weekend is going well, everybody, because hey, that's always fun. And welcome to the studio. I'm just pushing back here. Hang on. But I do want to. We have a lot of these. This is the one that I had from last week that I only started on. I want to finish this, and of course from 2 weeks ago, I have this one that I want to finish. So I'm rapidly running into a situation where I can't start a new one of these until I finish the other ones. What happened? So one of the upstairs bedrooms has really weak window screens, but we had the windows open to vent out the upstairs, and they got through the door. They got through the door, ripped the screens, ended up on the roof. We had about 12 cats just wandering around the roof like idiots, and one of them, Loki, she got freaked. Sorry, I had to grab the water. She got freaked. And kept trying to come back to the house, but the minute we would open the door, she'd freak out and run away, which is like, oh my God, are you stupid? don't answer that question. Yes, the cats sometimes. So anyway, it's a little weird. I'm pretty sure she's just enjoying the outdoors for a bit. She always wants to go out anyway. I feel bad that we don't, and she'll come back in probably around dinner time tonight. She hasn't really eaten since last night, unless she's going to the neighbors. Our neighbors next door. She also feeds the cats. There's always like dry cat food, and that's where we found her. She was hanging out over there, so she knows the area. Yeah, herding cats. Exactly, Houdini Bob. Herding cats. I question my my decisions in life sometimes. Oh God. But we have had a good. I'm just going to reach over to my machine here. This is the infamous, yeah, the laptop that couldn't, right? Hey, David Irons, how you doing, David? Good to see you. Thank you. The laptop's holding out well this week. We're doing okay. We are continuing the theme of close encounters. We do this too. Boop. There we go. Close encounters. Yeah, I've gotten this far. So hey, thanks for joining, David. Good to see you. I know I've debated pushing my Friday live stream later in the evening. So everyone, let me know what your thoughts on that. If we feel that, oh, do I have a? Oh my gosh. Oh, that's hilarious. I'll have paint on the face. Whatever you do, kids, don't get paint on your face, okay? Very good. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Ah! Oh my god. Oh, I just noticed. I've painted my mustache too. Oh, that's hilarious. The danger of being an artist and oil painting, you get paint everywhere. I think I've given myself a Hitler mustache. Daten. My dog has no nose. How does he smell? Awful. Okay, that was yeah, that's a Monty Python. I have totally oh jeez, wonderful. Probably burnt sienna is what I think is what that actually is. Anyway. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna leave you this week with the Close Encounters, the next edition in our series. Thank you all so much. Check out my website I've got prints up for the first one. I'm gonna work through and finish this one at some point. Lots going on here. I'm trying to work in more streams as we go. I have given myself a buttload of work this year, and I'm trying to stick to it. So yeah, I'm getting them done as we can. Anyhow, thank you all for joining me this Friday. Stick around for on Discord. I'll let you know if I could pop in and finish some of these. I need to work out a night so I can start finishing them so I don't have the backlog. And for those of you on Patreon, stop on by on Sunday. I'll have it posted here later on this evening or tomorrow morning. But Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the members-only Patreon live stream where I'm going to review one of the bigger paintings I have started finishing that has been sitting here for a while. It's been fun. Alrighty, folks. Have a great week. I'm going to check out, and thank you all so much for following. Thank you all. Those of you on Patreon, I appreciate it. Anyone buying prints and originals, thank you so much. It makes a huge difference. It really does, and it helps us keep the cats happy too. All right, I'm going to send you out with my standard outro. Have a good week, everybody. I'll have this posted in the Discord. We'll catch you all next time. Thank you. Oh, right, and outro.
All right, so I've taken my white paint with my little fan brush here, and let's just see how crazy this goes. This is where I throw paint everywhere. gives it an air of legitimacy that it doesn't deserve. You know?
I have Bob Ross the shit out of this painting.